everyone. Thank you for joining in. It's lovely to have you, Jannik, again. It's just pleasure always. Fabio, you are the first time here on my podcast. I think we should have met like a long time ago, but we just, through Ignite, a lot of announcements, a lot of things that was released during that time. And this is the main topic what we'll be going to discuss. So I will start off with Jannik. Please do an introduction to yourself, and then what was your highlights from Ignite?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for having me in this podcast again. And let me introduce myself. My name is Jannik Reinhard. I'm from Germany. I'm working in the AI area. This means I building in my company a big AI framework, which is connected to different systems, which is also integrated in multiple systems to answer questions, to automate stuff, and doing things like this. But I'm also working in the area of device management. This was more or less my previous topics where I'm working on, but it's still my hobby. And I try to blog a lot about it and speaking at events and create content in general. And my goal is always to combine both worlds, to have device management and AI, and try to figure out how both can benefit from each other. Yes, it's more or less something to myself.
So I believe you have attended, you were watching online the Ignite. What was your top highlights from Copilot?
Yes, unfortunately, I was not on site, but I really follow all the announcements and the sessions. And it's hard to say the top highlight. There was a lot of nice things, but I think I have two things which I can point out. One is the integration of the security Copilot into the device queries. I think this shows exactly how the journey will continue in the whole way how you manage devices. In the past, you have to write PowerShell scripts to collect data, to get some insights, to automate some stuff. And the new way to do stuff is using natural language, formulate what you want to do, and the rest will be done by Copilot, in this case, to generate KQL queries, to get data, to join different tables, and you no longer have to think about what is the syntax, which table I need. You only have to describe what you want to do, and then you can also fire out some actions of it. And the second thing, and I think this was the thing of Ignite, was the Windows 365 PC. I think this also shows a bit how the journey will continue. Today, we buy very expensive hardware. We have life cycles to exchange it. And I think the future will be really small devices, not so big footprint. You only have to connect this. Maybe it's in the future also smartphones. You have a monitor, you connect your smartphone to your monitor, and then you have everything what you need in your pocket. I think I'm always impressed when you see the whole virtualization area. It's commodity business, but how many innovations they bring in such a boring business, I would say. It's always impressive how innovative this group is, and it's very cool to see the developments here.
It is amazing. Thank you for those 2 points. Now we come to our superstar, Fabio.
Yeah. How do you figure? For me, Ignite was not such a good experience because
introduction to yourself, because you are the first time here on the podcast. You're just firing up, man.
Yeah, that's true. Hi guys. Thanks for being here. My name is Fabio Bonolo. I am from Switzerland, although I try not to sound too Swiss speaking English. And I'm a Microsoft MVP in M365 Copilot, but I come more from the modern work part, not from the engineering part, more from the business perspective. So in terms of project management, in terms of change and adoption, I have a lot of experiences and projects that I did. And yeah, of course, as an MVP, as well as Jannik, I am speaking a lot at conferences about Copilot, about the underlying data governance in Microsoft 365. I have my own blog, my own LinkedIn newsletter, which is a video newsletter in YouTube, covering more or less the future of modern work, what I would like to call it. So I'm looking always ahead into the roadmap, into the message center, what features are coming, what is planned in terms of innovation, new features, and yeah, analyze that and give my opinion about what it means for organizations. So that's my point of view, more from a business power user perspective, less than an engineering perspective. So that's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
So how was Ignite for you?
Yeah, well, as I started, it wasn't the best experience for me because an hour before the keynote of Satya, I wasn't on site. I was in Switzerland as well as you, Jannik. But an hour before the keynote, the symptoms of the norovirus kicked in. So I had the strength to watch the keynote, and that was it. So I was 3 days. I couldn't do anything for 3 days because I had this thing called norovirus. I didn't feel so well. So the weekend after, I had a lot to recapitulate, a lot to look through what was announced into Ignite. But I did have the time. I made the time, of course, because it interested me a lot. And for me, also same as Jannik, or similar as Jannik's perspective, I don't see my top features. What I found interesting, especially compared to Ignite from last year, that in the Microsoft 365 Copilot world or AI world, there wasn't so much innovation as more of working on the basics. So in Ignite 2023, Microsoft pulled out a lot of new features, a lot of innovations, a lot of new products, promised a lot of cool, fancy things which weren't available just until now. And what Microsoft did in this year's Ignite, I think, was the right decision to work on the basics, to enhance the capabilities of Microsoft 365 Copilot more than putting out some more innovation and more products to flood the market. Although there were some kind of innovations and new features which I found pretty awesome, which begins with the Copilot agents. So not only the capability in SharePoint, but also the out-of-the-box agents, which I find from a business perspective highly interesting, not to be needing to build your own agents. The other thing that I thought was really interesting were the Copilot actions. So where you can automate your personal processes within prompts. And the other part which I also found interesting was the enhancement of the Copilot Lab, which now is called Copilot Prompt Gallery. So you have the possibility to save your prompts, save and share your prompts, use it for actions, for example. And this is something very, very nice. So if I had to choose what my preferred or top 3 feature announcements are, it will be the agents, Copilot actions, and the Copilot Prompt Gallery.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, coming back to you, Jannik. Which topic do you think we could discuss a little bit deeper into? I mean, I'm excited more about this what we called it
advanced
new
analytics.
Microsoft Advanced Analytics capability for query multiple devices and taking remote actions on the query results. So what's your take on this? Do you think this will get further? This is the limit of it. It's useful for the admins. Would the admins sleep now better?
Yeah, maybe my view on this, and I'm 100% with Fabio. what Microsoft did a lot is fix the basics. Also in Intune, we had since years some gaps with inventory, collecting data, and also sometimes you see small features, but these features are, I think, a lot of the community ask for it since a long time, and I like it that they go one step back. They had now the big marketing waves, and everyone talks about AI and Microsoft. I think they did a good job here, but now they have to deliver. And to deliver, AI can only do what the tool also can do. This means if some data or some functionalities are missing, then also AI cannot make magic. But in this case, what you ask about this advanced endpoint analytics, this is basic for me, because without data, you can't do anything. And these are very important gaps which are now closed. Can get live data, you can get inventory data, also multi-platform. This is great. In the end, it also shows how this will transform the whole way around device management. I think today, also mostly for small businesses, it's hard to get started because you have with Intune, for example, a very big platform. You have unlimited possibilities. It's hard to start how to create policies. How do I secure my environment? And I see here changes. This means that you say, or AI can guide you in the future, how you should set up things, where you could have gaps, how you can extend end user experience. And for me, the most important thing is when you look in Intune, but also on other tools, or also if you check in the past, everyone likes to build Power BI, and for me, Power BI is a red flag, because in the end you build dashboards, you can solve with a dashboard one use case, but it never fits 100% of the current case of data what you need. And I think this is for me the most promising thing where AI can kick in. You don't need dashboards, you don't need to monitor everything every day. You only get notified when it's worth to check something, or you can generate reports or data or insights on demand depending on your question. And this, I think, is something where it starts with advanced endpoint analytics, and I hope that the journey will continue in this direction.
This is a very interesting insight, because when you compare, yes, Copilot with the Power BI, now I think this gap because before Copilot had no those charts and for results and so on, but now through Ignite they announced this Copilot pages, I think, if I'm not mistaken, where it gives you some sort of this a beautiful pie chart and another charts. Have you seen this Copilot pages before?
I saw this, and I also played around a bit with it, but this is more the part where Fabio is located.
The 365, yes.
Exactly. This is more this part. Security Copilot also have the possibilities to make visualization, but I think in the end it's a journey. We will see more and more features, I think, in the future, and it will develop. But as I said, I see more the reporting in the future on demand. You say what you will, what insights you want to have, and visualizations, the dashboards, and all this stuff will be created on demand for you. Not longer you have to spend hours to make nice designs, and then it helps one person for one specific use case.
I think interestingly enough, when you're talking about the security Copilot, it's not only Intune, but also from the modern work perspective, it's in Purview. So we have the topic in Purview with data governance, with data quality, data security, which has a direct impact into the user interface or the features that the user can use if he's allowed or not. And there you have similar reporting capabilities inside of Microsoft Purview. And when we are talking only about M365, there we have the Copilot Analytics. So Copilot Pages is just an sort of feature on how to interact with prompts and responses from Copilot from the biz chat. So when you're prompting something into the biz chat in Outlook, Teams, or in your M365 application, you can edit it as a page. And it's more like, and it's based on Microsoft Loop. So it's not a dashboard or reporting tool. Of course, you can add graphics, you can do some summaries, etc., but it's not an automated, sophisticated reporting tool. The reporting tool for Microsoft 365 Copilot is Copilot Analytics, and there is some differences with the Security Copilot, because the Security Copilot, in my perspective, my business perspective, is more like a tracker of incidents and things like that. And the Copilot Analytics has out of the box some dashboards and reportings according to the usage of Copilot. So it determines how many licenses you have inside your organization and how many users are using which app, for example, which prompts are being used, etc. So it's more static in Copilot Analytics as in Security Copilot, where it's much, much more sophisticated, much more automated. And I think it is, in my perspective, Jannik, when I listened to you, I was a little bit shocked when you said Power BI is a red flag. but as long the more I listened to you, the more it made sense, because we don't have time, or we shouldn't have time, to be sitting 24/7 on our monitors and looking how the data is working. Even though Power BI has some really, really advanced and cool features of real-time data reportings and so on. But with AI, you have it more automated, you have it more individual, specific on to your needs. And I'm really looking forward on what the future will hold in terms of AI reporting, not only for Intune or Purview, for example, but also what in the Microsoft 365 world will go ahead in terms of adoption, especially.
Yeah, the Power BI guys will do a lot of work after your comment. I think they'll be realizing, we are missing out. But diving into the, diving a little bit on the other directions of the Copilot, which one of the amazing announcements was the interpreter agent, which provides a real-time speech-to-speech translation. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like up to 9 languages during the Teams call. Did you guys have a look at it? What do you think? I mean, this is the topic for everyone, even for non-Copilot users. Jannik, what do you think? I want to hear your take on that.
Yeah, as MVP, you sometimes have the possibilities to get aware of some technologies a bit earlier, and I saw this also earlier this year, and I was shocked as I saw this because it took over your voice and all this stuff, and this is really a change because. And this is also an AI use case with a high value. I see a lot of AI use cases, which is only, oh, nice, we have AI on it. But here I see really the value. You can, people who don't speak so well English, or another question, can speak with her native language, and Teams or this model will take over the whole translation. And this is very great. But to give you an example for the opposite, for a use case where I really have to smiling as I saw it, in the Azure OpenAI portal, you have the possibility in the playground to connect to your data, to configure the configurations of your model, to generate a system prompt. And here you now have also a Copilot or prompt, where you can write a prompt to write your system prompt. And this is a bit, this was too much for me. This was too much.
Yeah, but Microsoft, I think Microsoft follow its path that they started with the Power Platform. So what was the first thing that in Power Platform Microsoft told via their marketing guys? You don't need programming experiences to build your flows, to build your apps, to build your whatever, which isn't true, obviously, especially when we go with Power Effects language, with JSON and all things like that. And Copilot is the same. So you have the counterpart of Azure AI Foundry, which is called now at the moment, is Copilot Studio. This is the no-code or low-code platform for, I would say, power users or non-engineers, people who don't know how to program or how to code. And there you have the similar possibilities for doing your system prompts or prompting your system prompt, for connecting external data sources and things like that in a much more easier way, but of course not as sophisticated and individual as with a coding first approach. So and I think the interpreter agent, when we go back to the topic, it is something really great. And I think Microsoft goes the right way by delivering such high value out of the box agents without any building necessity for either engineers nor power users, and in general users or deciders in organizations. For me, the interpreter agent, what I'm missing really much in the Microsoft universe is that so many things are designed for enterprises, for multinational organizations where a lot of languages are being spoken. And what about the SMBs? What about the small or medium-sized organizations which just speak one language? So in the future, do they have to pay more so they because just this sort of agent is included? So that's a slippery slope there where we have to look at. And on the other side, even yet now, especially with the interpreter agent, of course, we're talking about other agents as well, but when we're talking about the interpreter agent, the real value not only lies in the live meeting, where it translates directly with your voice, with your language, but the value lies in the after part of the meeting, with the transcription, with the recording, etc. And there you come really fast with you have to buy Teams premium licenses, and that's something that nobody talks about. So this is something really important to determine or analyze what value brings which new feature or agent.
That's actually
that's something
was
really
my
important.
question. Yeah, that was, we had a discussion, Jannik and I, like a while back, and Jannik's take, if I remember correctly, was like, this is a new technology. It's still being developed. It's like a new excitement. It's the new feature, and it's okay to be into this phase where it's still developing. Yes, it's expensive because of the hardware it needs to. But I think Jannik, I mean, going back to the interpreter agent, to whom, I mean, initially, yes, it's maybe not a lot of organizations will adopt this, but do you think initially this will move toward a specific organization, or like, let's say, like enterprise or SMPs, or what would you think?
For me, for sure, currently the technology is sometimes also expensive to the whole compute to run such model and stuff like this. But as you said, it's the beginning. And for me, it's not the question who applies this. For me, it's very clear everyone will have in the future such technologies. This means every employee can decide what's the easiest way for him. Maybe it's easier if we make this podcast. I speak German and Fabio speak Swiss German, and everyone talk in his native language. But the audience can hear it in the language he preferred. And I think this is really the future. It's a change how we work, and everyone can decide what's the easiest way. For sure, currently it's expensive. You have to think about, do you see the value? Do you have a return on invest? But the technology will develop and will also get cheaper and faster and more efficient and everything.
Here here I think we have to be we have to look at one thing, because I come from as a business consultant side, and when we are talking about one agent, so this is something that, yeah, it depends how it's developed. But when we are talking about technology, my experience, it doesn't matter what kind of technology we are building, be it AI, be it Teams, be it Outlook, be it Viva, be it whatever it is. You can build the best, sophisticated, fanciest technology, but it doesn't bring you any value if the users don't know how to use it.
Mhm.
So the adoption part, it doesn't matter if everybody has the interpreter agent, or the employee self-service agent, or whatever agent. You can build it, you can develop it, you can build some new features in it, of course. And of course we are in the beginning, but nevertheless, the users have to adopt. Not only the end users, but also like yourself, Jannik, or Shady, engineers with the security Copilot. You have a really great technology, but if you don't develop your skills in it, if you don't understand it, how it works, and how you have to prompt, for example, etc., the best technology is worth nothing. So
Is the prompting
that's
now
a really
getting
important.
easier? Do you
Sorry?
think the prompting is getting easier by day, or do you think
No.
this has to be adapted to?
No, this is the main part to be adopted, because we have one, or the main part of why prompting will never get easier is because all this privacy and data security integrations that Copilot has out of the box. I always use like some really simple language, and my simple language in terms of my explanation is, when you put the same prompt into ChatGPT and into Copilot, be it the security Copilot or M365 Copilot, 80 or 90% of the cases, ChatGPT has the better, more creative answers, because ChatGPT is more lightweight, because it doesn't bring the privacy settings with it. It doesn't bring the security settings with it, the access settings. And Copilot is much more designed for the use in organizations where you have these kind of things that you have to deal with. So we, as users as well as admins, are or need to help Copilot. And in terms of prompting, so the preciser and the more detailed the prompt is, the better will be the response from Copilot compared with ChatGPT or Perplexity or Gemini, or you name it.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why we call it prompt engineering, especially in AI solutions as you are building, Jannik, as well, because you build it so sophisticated based on data sources that the user needs to trigger the right amount of data, the right place of data within his prompt. And for me, and this is something that I always said, I am doing right now, I'm studying for a master's degree in business and IT consulting. And my master thesis will be around AI, of course. And I have my thesis, I didn't do any work right now, but I have my thesis in mind, because today we are in a clicking culture. For me, that means to start a process, to do some work, we have to click through our tools, starting a process, and so on. And in the future, we are going away from this clicking culture into a prompting culture. So we have 1, 2, or 3 user interfaces, which is connected with your front end, like CRM, ERP, Teams, which is connected with your backend, like your SSCM, like your Active Directory. And we need to learn how to prompt, because the AI will develop itself so good that it will do some autonomous processes itself. And that's where Microsoft is developing the technology for now. So to answer your question, Shady, in my opinion, no, prompting will not become easier. It will become much more important, and it is key for the adoption of any AI or any business-related AI, such as Microsoft 365 Copilot, in order to gain return on investment, in order to gain value. from it.
Okay. So Jannik, I hope you're gonna give an answer which is totally opposite Fabio's.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it.
What do you think? What do you think of the prompting?
I'm very sure the audience would like it if I has the opposite opinion, but I can 100% agree with Fabio. What I think is the technology will not be the problem. If you see what O1 today deliver, it hits every doctor in his own area. This means the results are amazing. And I'm not sure if you remember the Microsoft build where the picture with a different, I think it was an orca, where you see the size of GPT-3, GPT-4, and GPT-5. And 5 was so amazing big, and I think we will see it next year. Let's see. But I think the technology will not longer the problem. For sure, there will also be measurements to improve bad prompts from the user, reinforcement learning to make better hits of different connectors, plugins, whatever. Also tuning of the prompts. I think there will be also technical measurements, but the key is change management and adaptation, because you can, as you said, you can develop everything, and if no one adapts this, you can waste a lot of money. Also, if you see the development in the whole technique area, Microsoft spends everywhere Copilots. I think the pricing will also not decrease. I think it will increase, and everywhere should be an own price tags. And ServiceNow, every vendor has ideas with his own copilots, and I hate this development, to be honest. I would like if there are more consolidations of frameworks. In the end, what Microsoft did with his Copilot isn't kind of consolidations. You have possibilities to plug in your data, but you have not a possibility to plug in your Copilot. This means if you have 5 areas, you have 5 different frameworks in the background, because you have not a possibility to place your Office Copilot on your company page, for example. And this is something what I hate, because you have 5 Copilots, you get 5 different answers. And I hope here will also be more openness to also open the interfaces and stuff like this to get more a unified platform for these developments.
I think what shocked me.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think what shocked me the most is when you said, because of this development and where we are heading, the prices will go up. I mean, okay. I mean, this is a shocking thing. I mean, I hope. I mean, you know better, of course, but I hope not, because, like Fabio said, how would you integrate the SMBs later on if you keep increasing the prices and so on? I would understand, yes, hardware issues, you have to have them in a data center and so on. But I hope it will be something like when the internet started back in the 90s, where they said, okay, now the internet for specific people, and it's very expensive, but now it's everywhere, and it become really, really affordable. Now,
maybe I can make it a bit more clear what I meant with it. In the past, you have an Office license. Now you have an Office license and a Copilot license. In addition, you have Intune license. Plus, you have an Intune Suite license. Plus, you have a Security Copilot license. Plus, you have a Teams Premium license. This is the development I see. You have nice premium features, but you're everywhere has nice possibilities, but you also have to pay for it. And this is something, I don't know.
Yeah. And while I have you, one of the early things you said earlier on your takeaways or your highlights from Ignite was the Windows 365 PC. I mean, did you mean the Windows 365 link, the small device, or did you mean the PC? The Windows 365, the link. Oh yeah, that's just. Well, I mean, I would love to hear your take on that. Then we can discuss about it.
Why I like this technology, you mean?
Yes, I mean, yes. Why do you think it's incredible? Why you think it will have? Does it have like specific scenarios for now? Do you think it will be developed in a different path? What's your take on that?
For me, it makes a bit more clear how the PC or the enterprise PC market will develop. I think as of today, you buy laptops or PCs or whatever, and you have the exchange cycles. This means every X years you have to exchange it. You have a full-blown device, and I think this approach will be changed. Especially in my case, I travel a lot, and it's always annoying. I have a MacBook Pro. It's very heavy to put this into your backpack. And for me, it would be much smarter if you, in the end, this is Windows 365. If you only have in the future your iPad, you have a full possibilities. If you're in an office, you have your Windows 365 link, which is already connected. This means you not longer have a big full-blown hardware. You only have a very small piece where you can connect to your cloud PC, and you have longer life cycle for the software as such, but the hardware will stay, and you don't have to change it because it runs out of performance and stuff like this.
Yes, this is a really solid point. But for use cases, you said you would like to have it as for yourself, because when it first was announced, they said this is for shared device, probably frontline workers for who are doing rotations, probably. But as a personal device, how would you do it? Because I mean, if I have it with me now, if I want to travel or something, then I have to look for monitors, keyboard, mouse. How would you adapt this for a specific personal use?
For me, it's a typical office PC. I go to my office. I'm connected with my Windows 365 device. I'm on travel. I am on my iPad and connect to the same device. This means it's more or less the usability. You have it where you need it, and the device travels with you. For me, there's only one problem, and this is Windows. I'm a Mac user, and I hope Apple will deliver something similar in the future.
Okay, interesting.
We didn't hear that. We didn't hear that, Jannik.
Yes.
It is interesting. One of the things that I had a discussion earlier, and Steve Weiler, he said a very important point. He said, now Windows 365 Link is with an Wi-Fi integration. How about the eSIM card integration? And I was like, that just makes a lot of sense, because you can manage actually eSIM cards from Intune. And I was like, definitely that's what's coming this is my prediction. Now it's Wi-Fi, later on it will be eSIM card. Do you think this is practical? I mean, yeah.
For sure, when such devices are also more mobile, this means you have tablet or you have some other factors than only a desktop PC. As I said, for me, this is the beginning, but it shows how the journey will be going. This means you not have everything on one device. You have it in the cloud, and you only connect to your device where you need it and from which hardware you want to have it.
Okay. Now you guys, before we close the session, is there some topic that we missed on? What do you think? Is there something we can discuss further to this podcast? Another topic we missed on? What do you think?
Just that I find it a good decision that the Ignite will not be held in Chicago anymore in November, but in San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
it's a little bit warmer.
Okay, then we can close our podcast here. I mean, those is just nice to have you guys. It's a lot of things to consider. A lot of firing announcements from Jannik. I mean, you have really spot on analysis, Jannik. I mean, I hope that everyone who is watching will be like considering, okay, now we have something to develop. Now we have to cope up with the Copilot. It's I mean, because I think you are deep into this topic, that's why you have a really deep analysis. In either way, thank you guys for joining in. This is the first thing we will be doing for many podcasts. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Shady.